Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to introduce Donald Trump Jr.
Greg, thank you very much. I really want to thank Greg for just giving a little space between Kimberly and me, because I don't like to follow her. She's pretty good and feisty. Sorry, Greg, you had to take the heat on that one. But this is a great American, Greg Pence and that family. I've gotten to know him really well over the last few years, and with his brother. Just to reiterate a couple stories. My son, Tristan, he broke his leg pretty badly. This is, I guess, March of 2016. Other than my father, the first call I got was from Greg Pence. All right? Not the White House operator calling for Greg Pence, not his guys calling for Greg Pence, just just Mike Pence. Close. I mean, all three of you look alike. You're like clones. But that is the family. For the Vice President of the United States, just known through politics, to pick up the phone, to check in on me, on my little guy, and to do it himself. He didn't need someone reminding him. He just heard about it, and he did it. That's what this family is all about, and that's what they've done. I mean, they're there to serve. They're out there fighting for all of you, and that's amazing. That's amazing. So, thank you to the whole family. Greg, thank you for your friendship as of late. It's been awesome, and your son John's incredible. He's working. They're all fighting for the cause. Now, the one thing that Donald Trump was wrong about, don't worry, I saw dread and fear. I saw dread and fear in her eyes. No. The one thing he was wrong about was he said that you would be sick of all the winning. Are you sick of winning yet? Remember that? It was a great speech. I remember. He goes, we're going to win so much, you're going to come up to me, you're going to say, Donald, please let the other side, let them have a win. They've been taking advantage of us for decades. We got to give them some mercy rule. No. See, I'm with you guys. I'm with you guys. And guess what? We have a president who is delivering. We have the first politician in the history of politics who is getting hell for doing all of the things that you elected him to do. Think about it. Look at this economy. The economy is raging. The economy is booming. There is not a single economic metric where we are not better off today than we were 2 years ago. It doesn't exist. Name one. Nothing. There's nothing. The reality is, we shouldn't have expected Obama to be able to grow an economy. He had never done it. Kimberly points it out very well. Being a community organizer is wonderful. Guess what, guys? You can't run the world's largest company that way. All right? We have a president that's doing that. They said tax reform can't be done. Guess what? Done. They said we can't renegotiate NAFTA. Done. Right? They said, oh, well, you did it with Mexico, but Canada's never going to come to the table. Done. One after the other. The economy is so good right now that Barack Obama is trying to take credit for it 2 years later. No, the reality, that is the stupidest thing I've heard in both economics and politics, right? Remember, he himself said in 2016, when my father said, why can't we have 2.5%, 3%, 3.5%, 4% GDP growth, or even better? Oh, there's no magic wand for that. Remember? The New York Times backed them up. No. 1.8% is the new normal. Remember that? Well, abracadabra, Obama. There is a magic wand for it. You know what that magic wand is? Common sense, conservative principles, conservative values. How about maybe a little business experience? That never hurt. And that's why you have an incredible opportunity right now. Between Greg Pence and Mike Braun, really the rest of the GOP ticket in Indiana, but Greg Pence and Mike Braun especially, these are guys that have actually done it. Practice, not just theory. Like I said, I can't fault Obama for not being able to do it. I can't fault Obama for not expecting to be able to do anything more than he did, which was nothing. He had no business being there talking about the economy or economics. He'd never done it. I get that. You don't feel bad for him. It's sort of hard to take on this job and make promises to people. He had no business. He had never had people such as yourselves, their families, their livelihoods, dependent on his success. Well, my father, Greg Pence, Mike Braun, they've done that. They know that responsibility. And that's what it is. It's a really serious responsibility. And we have to take it as such. Just look at Joe Donnelly and look at his record. What's that done for Indiana? All he's been is Chuck Schumer's lapdog, right? You can't be for Indiana and be against tax cuts. Doesn't work. You can't go against Justice Kavanaugh but then do an interview on Fox News and pretend you're a conservative or even pretend you're a moderate. Because you all know where Joe Donnelly will be when it actually matters. When something's at stake, he's going to follow Chuck and Nancy and do their thing. And do their bidding. That doesn't represent Indiana. He's done nothing. In his years, I don't believe he's actually even passed a single piece of legislation. Is that true? Someone told me that earlier. I mean, think about that. You sit there for a decade, not even one. Like, that's not even, that's less than a participation medal. He didn't even get the participation medal. He just shows up. Think of how pathetic that is. But you know what, guys? Guess what? It's not just the economy that we're running on. What about foreign policy? We finally got America back. The rest of the world is finally looking at us with respect again. Let's go through the list there. How about moving the Israeli embassy to Jerusalem? This is something that passed the United States Senate 99-0. Think about that. I can't name anything else that's passed in the Senate 99-0. Someone was sick that day. Okay? 99. Bush, Clinton, other Bush, Obama, they all said they were going to do it. It was de facto U.S. law. What happened? Absolutely nothing. Because they have no guts. Right? Trump came in, what'd they say? Oh my God, it's going to be World War III. Oh my God, billions of people are going to die. Like the outrage, right? What are they outraged about this minute? I haven't been on Twitter in about 12 seconds, so I have no idea. But they're outraged about something. There was going to be outrage, billions were going to die. What happened? 2 people threw rocks for about 4.2 seconds, and it was over. But the rest of the world was watching. Look at what we did with the Iran deal. Rather than send $150 billion in pallets full of cash that are being used to kill our people and our allies, we pulled out of that deal. How about we took that money and put it maybe towards educating our children so we're not number 28 in the world behind a long list of third world countries? Seems logical. How about we take care of our vets with that money? No. So then we pull out of that. What about North Korea? Kimberly loves when I tell this story because if I wake up one more day watching one of these experts. Now, when I say experts, we have to put a little bit of a disclaimer on this because they haven't been right in about 3.5 years. But they call themselves experts, so we'll play along. The experts get on TV every morning. Donald Trump's doing it all wrong in North Korea. And I know because I've been dealing with North Korea for 40-something years. I say, wait a second. I'm confused. You've been leading the charge for the United States in North Korea for 40-something years. You haven't been able to get a meeting with the other side. I'm usually watching this with my little daughter, Chloe Sophia. Some of you may know her from Instagram. Very cute, very aggressive, definitely Trump. I go, my daughter, Chloe, has accomplished as much as all of these great experts in dealing with North Korea. Let's just assume that Chloe has accomplished absolutely nothing as it relates to North Korea. She is exactly on par with these experts. So what do? We changed up the game. They saw what we did with the Israeli embassy. They saw what happened when we drew a little red line in Syria, right? Our red line actually meant something. Because I remember Obama's red line. Obama drew a red line, little Syria. They stepped across it, slapped them in the face. I'll draw another red line, and they'll do it again. Well, they tried doing that with us, and we sent 57 Tomahawk missiles, hit 57 targets, and again, the rest of the world was watching. Guys, this election is very simple. Okay, I speak and I go around the country to just many great Americans, and so many of them come up to me, Don, we love what your father's doing. It's so amazing that he's doing. I can't wait to vote for him in 2020 again. It's going to be incredible. I go, what about November? They go, what's November? Now, think about it. 59% say, what do you mean? Why would we even vote? They don't even believe, because this actually makes sense. They don't believe that we can lose because they're looking at all the winning. They're looking at the economy. They're looking at all-time low unemployment numbers for Hispanics, for African Americans, for women, for Latinos, everything. And they say, who in their right mind would vote against this? So they're thinking about sitting it out. They're thinking about sitting at home. Because who in their right mind would vote against what's going on right now? I'll tell you who. The Democrats. Because they are no longer in their right mind. They have lost their damn minds. Seriously, think about this platform. If Donald Trump today came out in favor of oxygen, the Democrats would be against it. That's where they've gone. Again, this isn't like when I'm in West Virginia and I'm speaking to people and they look at me and I get it. Because I understand the history of some of this and the history of the politics. Don, if my grandfather knew that I was voting for a Republican, he'd be rolling over in his grave. I go, what would your grandfather say about the Democratic platform today? What would he say if you put Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, what would he say about them? And they go, yeah, darn man, you're right. I say, welcome aboard. Because that's what it is. This isn't, let's just change it a little bit and be reasonable. They want to do the exact opposite. They don't want someone coming from the outside, like Mike Braun, like Greg Pence, and showing Americans, you don't need to be career politicians to get it done. In fact, you'll do a lot better if you're not. That's the opportunity that Indiana has with these two gentlemen. They have the opportunity to bring in real experience, not the swamp. And guess what, boys and girls? My father's record is pretty darn good right now, but he can't do it by himself. He needs guys that are willing to get in there. He also needs guys that are willing to fight, because that's not everyone on our side, right? They say, wait a second, fight? You mean we can actually fight back? Look at Kavanaugh. You mean if you're right, the other side presents no facts, you don't just have to give in and die? That's not what the Republican Party's been known for. The Democrat, we're not in a fair fight, right? We're always one hand behind our back because the media will shill for the left like no one else in the world. You're not in a level fight, but when you're right, when the facts are with you, when you have some conviction and are willing to fight, you can win these things, guys. You can actually win. You don't just have to roll over because the left says you're a bad person for no other reason other than they can get away with it. So that's the opportunity that we have. That's the opportunity that we all have for our kids and for our grandkids. I have 5 young kids. I know how that happens right now, so that's okay. It's okay. You're very loud, but not very effective, because that's all you got. That's the point. The left has no message. They've been screaming Russia, Russia, Russia for 2 years now, and guess what they've discovered? Only they are the ones playing these games. It's insane, but that's what we're dealing with. They want mobs over jobs. Right? They want resistance over results. When in history has a country ever made those decisions? Use your heads, people. Get in the game, get out, and show up. Because it's up to you. If everyone who's benefiting from this economy, the 4.3 million new jobs created, the lowest unemployment numbers ever, if these people show up and actually vote on the policies that got them there, this is a landslide. This is a landslide, but we need you to do it. You can't just come and show up and say, yeah, you gotta bring some friends. You gotta call some friends. You gotta take every opportunity. It's 2 weeks. Everyone can call a few friends a day and make sure you get out, because we have a chance to do something special. We have a chance to do something that hasn't been done in history in this country. We can fix this mess, because we have people with the guts willing to step up. And the other side, and our own, and the establishment, doesn't want to see success there. They've gotten really rich. They've made a lot of money, taking care of themselves and their friends in D.C., protecting their little cliques. All right, this is a partisan problem. This is something from both sides of the aisle. Let's put some leaders in there who know how to get it done. Let's put some guys who know how to grow businesses. Let's put some people who, when they talk about employment, have actually done it. You guys have that chance, and with you, I know we can do it. So get out, call your friends, bring them along, make sure it happens, and on November 6th, we're going to see a red wave like you haven't seen before. Let's get it done. Thank you, Indiana. Thank you, Hoosiers. Thank you. Love you guys.